Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to the Monday, October 16, Days of Our Lives spoilers, Stephanie Johnson approached Chad DiMera from behind in search of some passion, but he retreated, leaving her perplexed. Chad apologized and said that he was deeply hurting because today was Abigail DiMera's birthday. Chad considered how close he came to eliminating Clyde Weston from the world and concluded that it was for the best that he didn't since his children needed him. Chad acknowledged he preferred to go to Abigail's cemetery alone, despite Stephanie's invitation to accompany him. Although Stephanie pretended to comprehend what had happened, she still radiated apprehension. On Monday's episode of Days, Trip Johnson wanted to take a blood sample and questioned a drug addict about the pills he had taken. The patient demanded to draw some of Trip's blood instead, and he grabbed a scalpel to do it. Trip then revealed to Kayla Johnson what transpired with the patient, who was able to escape while sporting a slight gash on his arm. Trip was sent home after Kayla helped him be bandaged since it was hospital regulation. On Monday's DOL show, Stephanie located Kayla and learned more about Trip's plight. Kayla declined Stephanie's offer to lunch, and Stephanie made a comment about how it wasn't her first rejection of the day. Stephanie was questioned by Kayla, who learned that Chad was in a difficult situation because it was Abigail's birthday and he didn't want her present. Even though Stephanie knew Chad cared for her, she cried as she questioned whether he would ever love her as much as he did Abigail. In Statesville, Clyde Weston saw a report about Susan Banks' survival and reveled in his role as the person who forwarded her to Edmund Crumb. Ray Fernandez and the Keystone Cops wouldn't ever figure it out, Clyde was certain. Clyde and Lucas Horton got into a fight after Lucas Horton, who was upset about Abigail, arrived. Clyde believed that Lucas should be terrified of him instead, particularly because he might harm someone Lucas cared about. Later, Lucas called Chad to see how he was doing because it was Abigail's birthday and discussed his run-in with Clyde. Chad advised Lucas to avoid Clyde because he was worried about Lucas causing additional trouble for himself while he was in jail. Lucas acted as though Clyde should maintain his distance. In his private moment, Chad also gazed admiringly at Abigail's photo on his phone and acknowledged how much he missed her. Chad cried while stating that Abigail was still the most stunning woman he had ever seen. On Monday's episode of Days, Ava Vitali and Harris Michaels admitted their shared love, while also agreeing that they should maintain their friendship until their lives were back on track. Harris believed that because Ava enjoyed cooking, she could provide for a family. Harris also intended to maybe land a position as a consultant or police officer at the Salem PD. They hugged as soon as Trip got home because Ava said they will shortly go out to eat and that a hug wouldn't be offensive. After Harris had departed, Ava noticed the bandage on Trip's arm and inquired as to what had transpired. Trip had earlier played down his interaction with a patient, but Clyde quickly called Ava to assure her that her son's minor accident wasn't an accident. Since Clyde was phoning from a burner phone, Ava inquired as to who was on the other end of the line. Since they had a lot to discuss, Clyde predicted that Ava would learn the truth shortly. On Monday's Days episode, Xander Cook and Sarah Horton made significant strides toward understanding one another's viewpoints while at the Kyriakis home. Xander was overjoyed to learn that Sarah was ready to share custody, and that she was sorry for attempting to keep him away from Victoria Horton. Just as Sarah was about to leave to pick up Victoria so she could meet her father, Justin Kyriakis called to inform her that Xander had requested full custody. Sloan Peterson, who intended to claim that Sarah was an unsuitable parent, had been hired by Xander, Sarah learned. After that, Sarah lost her cool and canceled the custody arrangement, making it obvious that she would challenge Xander in court. Xander, who appeared to be extremely angry over the loss, was confronted by Sarah as she left. Keep an eye on Days of Our Lives because, according to spoilers, Xander and Sarah's legal battle will take some unexpected turns. Days of Our Lives spoilers suggest that an unexpected person might learn Sloane Peterson's secret. Let's speak about a possible route to this huge announcement because an unexpected Days figure might rock Sloane's universe. Viewers of DOL are aware that Sloane has made a concerted effort to keep Eric Brady in the dark regarding the true father of Nicole Walker's child. EJ Demira, Nicole, and Eric have all been tricked into thinking that EJ is the father, when in fact Eric is the biological father. Naturally, it's only a matter of time before the truth is revealed. How will Sloane's secret eventually be revealed is the question. Since Sloane will be Xander Cook's custody attorney, their relationship may develop and Xander may uncover the truth as a result. With all the baby talk, Sloane might make a mistake and say too much to Xander. On the other hand, Xander might overhear Sloane confess her paternity fraud to Melinda Trask. If that's the case, Xander might be faced with a difficult choice. Eric and Nicole's troubled past would be taken into account since Xander is definitely not a fan of them. However, Xander isn't a fan of EJ either, especially after he nearly forced Xander to be evicted permanently. This might be the ideal chance for Xander to take revenge on EJ by snatching away the child who was never really his. Also, Xander is now quite sensitive to circumstances involving his biological father. Sarah Horton Brady lied to Xander about being Victoria Horton's father, and he was horrified that she had learnt nothing from keeping Eric's paternity a secret. Despite their problems, Xander would likely feel sympathy for Eric at this point. From one father to another, Xander might feel that Eric should have known the truth rather than having to witness another man raise his child. Furthermore, according to Days spoilers, Xander and Sarah will reunite at some point, therefore the custody dispute will be settled. Xander won't have any incentive to be loyal to Sloane, and by telling Sarah the truth about Eric's child with Nicole, he just might make her feel better. Sarah still has strong feelings for Eric, therefore she would undoubtedly want the truth to come to light. Bottom line, according to Days of Our Lives spoilers, the paternity revelation will cause chaos. So keep watching to find out if Xander will ultimately be the one to update Eric. Channel visits the mansion with Johnny to watch the movie Clueless. Johnny claims he's not a movie snob in response to Channel's surprise that it isn't a classic. Holly arrives home as she enters the kitchen. When she sees Johnny changing the TV, she smiles. As Channel returns with popcorn, she starts talking to him about movies. Holly queries whether they have reconciled. "We are," Channel states firmly. Holly pretends to be happy for them. Although Stephanie remembers how distraught she was when her mother was believed to have died along with Marlena and Kate Brady, she chooses not to ask Marlena. After returning from taking the kids to the movies, Chad discovered Abigail dead on their bed, having stayed behind to finish some stories for the Salem Spectator. Although Kayla Johnson wasn't actually dead, Stephanie was disappointed that she didn't get the chance to tell her she loved her one last time before parting ways. Stephanie makes the decision to practice patience and give Chad some time to get dressed. Abigail could never have imagined how terrible it must have been for him to find her in that condition. Thanks for watching if you like this video. So please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any updates.